The Iron Giant is at the center of things in One Piece right now, and fans are incredibly excited to see what direction Oda takes this particular plotline in. The Iron Giant was introduced to the fans at the beginning of the Egghead Island arc, and ever since then, this giant has proven itself to be very important. Recently, in One Piece chapter 1111, the Iron Giant was seen awakening once again, and now, it is going to be heavily involved in the climax of the Egghead Island arc. However, there are many mysteries surrounding the Iron Giant that are truly unanswered, and the biggest one of them is the main goal of the Iron Giant, and the reason for its existence. How the Iron Giant attacked Reawakening. The Iron Giant was created long ago, during the Void Century. 900 years ago, this Iron Giant took life, and ever since then, it has remained active. At some point, the Iron Giant became an acquaintance of Juboy. This might be weird to many, however, the Iron Giant actually appears to be a living giant. It is completely capable of sentience, and feels all sorts of emotions. Despite it being a robot, the Iron Giant might actually just be a shell with the soul of a living being inside. This was confirmed when the Iron Giant apologized to Joy Boy immediately after waking up. Regardless, going back to the creation of the Iron Giant, fans know that this giant most likely fought alongside Joy Boy against the 20 Kingdoms. However, due to their loss, it is highly likely that the Iron Giant was either dismantled, or that event somewhere that the fans do not know about. 200 years ago, the Iron Giant suddenly appeared out of nowhere and climbed the Red Line. It reached all the way up to the Holy Land of Reawakening and attacked the Celestial Dragons. Unfortunately, before it could cause any large-scale damage, the Iron Giant ran out of energy, and that is when it shut down permanently. The world government subsequently ordered the destruction of the giant. However, the scientists who worked on it kept it safe and hidden, and, eventually, this giant found its way to Egghead Island, which is where Dr. Vegapunk is currently working. The Iron Giant lay dormant on Egghead, and even though Vegapunk tried to recreate a source of power for it, he was not able to do so. According to Vegapunk, the source of its power is ancient energy that he simply cannot get his hands on. Because of that, the Iron Giant was simply a scrap of metal that was useless to Vegapunk. However, Luffy's arrival and Egghead changed that, and it is interesting for the fans to see that the Iron Giant is going to become incredibly important from here onwards. The reawakening of the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant finally reawakened when Luffy arrived on the island. Immediately when Luffy clashed with Kizaru, the drums of liberation that his heart produced reached the Iron Giant, and it was able to power this giant up, finally lighting his eyes. For the first time in 200 years, the Iron Giant awakened. Later down the line, when Luffy reactivated Gear 5, the Iron Giant powered up properly, and this time, it finally got up. As Luffy continued to fight in Gear 5 against the Admiral and the 5 Elders, this extended fight most likely gave it enough power to finally move. Luffy then decided to evacuate from Egghead and get to the ship of the giants. When he did that, the fans finally got a glimpse of the Iron Giant, and it was seen walking through a sea of flames, seemingly unaffected by it. The first thing that the Iron Giant did was apologize to Joy Boy. This clearly indicates that the Iron Giant had some sort of connection with Joy Boy. Perhaps the Iron Giant shares a personal relationship with him. This might sound absurd to the fans given that the Iron Giant is a robot. However, the Iron Giant is fully autonomous. It is capable of sentience and emotions. There is clearly a power that is bound to the Iron Giant, such as a soul of some being. It is this very power that moves the giant, and this power might even be connected to the Buccaneer race, given that the Iron Giant is somewhat similar to Kuma in many ways. For one, both Kuma and the Iron Giant are an iron shell. Both of them are seemingly dead, yet possess complete sentience as well as emotions. Both Kuma and the Iron Giant climbed the Red Line, and both of them are believers of Juboy. It is possible that the person inhabiting the body of the Iron Giant is a Buccaneer from the Void Century, and possibly a very close associate of Joy Boy, the true goal of the Iron Giant. Most importantly, fans might wonder what the goal of the Iron Giant is. The first thing that the fans need to keep in mind is that the Iron Giant is an ally of Joy Boy. This is clear from the fact that it was created by the people of the Ancient Kingdom, and of course, that its first words were an apology to Joy Boy. Given that it is an ally of Nika, its goal is most likely going to be to fulfill the will of D, or to help the person who will fulfill the will of D complete the task. In a way, the Iron Giant could be kept by Joy Boy for Luffy, who he knew would come in 800 years' time. Joy Boy knew his will would be inherited 800 years later, and that someone would fulfill the task that he failed to do. For this reason, he might have ordered the Iron Giant to protect this particular individual, or to guide him in some way. However, then, the curious case of one of the Iron Giant attacking Mary Ajoy 200 years ago arises. While it might look like the Iron Giant attacked Mary Ajoy, the truth might be very different. It is possible that the Iron Giant didn't actually attack Mary Ajoy, but it was simply trying to get somewhere. This could be very similar to Bartholomew Kuma. Fans previously saw that he scaled the red line, and it almost felt like it was attacking Mary Ajoy. However, his real goal was to get to Egghead. Similarly, the Iron Giant could potentially have been attempting to get to the Nika Devil Fruit, which it would know inhabits the power of Nika, or, in other words, Joy Boy. For that reason, the Iron Giant could potentially have scaled the red line. However, as fans know, it ran out of power when it reached the very top. This would have made it seem like the Iron Giant actually attacked the red line, when that might not have been the case. The goal of the Iron Giant, in that case, would have been to seek out the next Nika and protect that individual until the right time came. Of course, the Iron Giant was not able to do that. However, things still worked out, and the Iron Giant is up and running again, only thanks to the power of Luffy's Drums of Liberation. Now that it is up again, the Iron Giant will most likely aid Luffy greatly in escaping from Egghead, and, hopefully, fans will also get a piece of lore about its creation, and potentially even its goals, and confirmation on why it climbed the red line 200 years ago. And in other news, One Piece, the Iron Giant's connection to Gear 5, explained. One Piece's Egghead Island arc is continuing with full intensity, and fans are extremely excited by the ongoing events in the climax of the arc, which has recently seen the awakening of the Iron Giant once again. The Iron Giant has proven itself to be a constant talking point for the fans over the course of the Egghead Island arc. Now that the arc is in its very climax, fans can rest assured that this giant will play a massive role. In One Piece Chapter 1111, it finally awakened properly and started moving, which all but confirms that it has a major role to play once the series returns from its break. The Iron Giant on Egghead. The Iron Giant was introduced to the fans as soon as the Egghead Island arc began. When the Straw Hats pirates began exploring Egghead, it was none other than Luffy who came across this giant first, and that is precisely where he met Dr. Vegapunk. According to Vegapunk, the Iron Giant is actually a creation of old times. It was created during the Void Century, and 200 years ago, it attacked Mary Ajoy by climbing the Red Line. It terrorized the Celestial Dragons. However, before it could finish the job, it somehow ran out of fuel. It is unknown exactly how this Iron Giant was created, and what exactly its orders were. However, what fans do know is that it was an ally of the Ancient Kingdom. This ties in very well to the statement of the Ancient Kingdom being a very advanced society, given that it was incredibly advanced and possessed technology that even the current One Piece world doesn't. It's easy to connect the dots and figure out that the people of the Ancient Kingdom created this Iron Giant and give it a specific mission. Given that the Ancient Kingdom was also at war with the 20 kingdoms, who banded together to defeat it, the Iron Giant most likely fought on the side of the Ancient Kingdom, and that is precisely why it knows Joy Boy as well as it does. How the Iron Giant is connected to Nika. Of course, in One Piece Chapter 1111, fans found out a massive revelation pertaining to the Iron Giant. As soon as it awoke, it called out to Joy Boy and apologized to him. This was rather unexpected. However, at the same time, fans do know that the Iron Giant is connected to Nika, and, in that regard, these two having a connection is not a surprise to the fans. A massive question that every fan has right now is how these two are connected. It appears that the Iron Giant and Joy Boy have some kind of personal connection. Before one even tackles that question, they need to tackle the question of how the Iron Giant was created in the first place. Given that the Iron Giant is not human, it could not have fostered a human-like relationship with Joy Boy. However, what fans know is that the Ancient Kingdom was incredibly advanced, and, as such, for it to have enough power to create a giant that has emotions such as feelings, among other complicated things, should be possible. For instance, Vegapunk has recently created the Seraphims, and if he was able to create that from scratch, then the Iron Giant being created by the Ancient Kingdom people should not come as a surprise to the fans. That said, the Iron Giant appears to be intrinsically linked to Joy Boy. This is clearly evident to the fans, as the giant only awakened once Luffy tapped into the power of Gear 5, and Joy Boy forced his return. Through the Drums of Liberation, the Iron Giant was powered up, and eventually, it got up once again and started moving. Had Luffy not accessed the power of Gear 5, which is what makes him Joy Boy, then the Iron Giant would certainly not have moved either. Beyond that, it appears that these two were very close, likely friends at the time. Joy Boy most likely fought together with Iron Giant, and it is likely Joy Boy who gave it the mission to scale the Red Line and destroy those top Joy. The Iron Giant and Buccaneers. While fans do not know much about the Iron Giant as of now, there are bits of information that can be connected together, which would then explain to the fans a lot of things about the Iron Giant. For instance, what fans know is that the Iron Giant is connected to the Drums of Liberation, and it most likely channels this throughout its body and uses it as its power source. Another interesting thing that the fans know is that despite not actually having a soul, the Iron Giant can still move, and that is truly remarkable. To some extent, this is very similar to Kuma. Kuma had his free will taken from him, and was essentially an empty shell. On many occasions, Kuma has been called an empty shell that is devoid of any feelings now. However, despite that, Kuma came to Egghead to save Bonnie. This was something that Vegapunk linked to the special power of the Buccaneers. Fans do not know what exactly the power is, however. It is surely linked to how Kuma defied every order. If the hidden power of the Buccaneers is to pass on the willpower to inanimate objects and live on, then it would make sense as to why the Iron Giant awoke after hearing the Drums of Liberation as well. This would mean that there existed a Buccaneer long ago, and it passed on its will to the Iron Giant before dying, and, as a result, it lives on even though the actual body of the Buccaneer died. Similarly, in the case of Kuma, fans know that his free will was taken from him, and, as a result, his body is just a shell. However, thanks to his Buccaneer power, Kuma could have passed on his will to the inanimate object of the Pacifista, which would then allow him to disobey even the elders and get back to Bonnie. It is quite a prevalent idea that Nika himself was a Buccaneer, given the giant straw hat that fans saw in Joy. As such, the person who is currently the Iron Giant could very well end up being a close associate of the true Nika, or potentially even a family member. This would then explain why hearing in the Drums of Liberation awakened this particular Iron Giant that was sleeping for many years, and why it started apologizing to Joy Boy almost immediately. Of course, much of this is just conjecture, however. Theorizing is the beauty of One Piece, and fans are free to come up with their ideas, especially during the excruciatingly long 3-week break. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.